Holla ballers, what's going on? It's Preacher, and I am bringing you a super quick tip today about key bindings that you should have on every single character and every single class. Now, it's very difficult for me sometimes to say, hey, this is the key bindings you should have. What I won't be telling you is like what you should bind it to, but what I am going to tell you is the key bindings that you definitely should have regardless of what character and class you're playing, okay? These are the bog standard things that people never keybind. But they're great practice to not only get yourself into key binding, but to start making good use of certain abilities. First things first, I have on my screen a hidden bar. I have it bar 4, and I have it always hidden, and it's never seen on any of my videos. You don't see this bar exist, but it does. Poof, there it is. It's hidden way down here. First things first, you should always have your potion key binded to something relatively easy but obscure. This isn't an ability you're going to use all the time. So I have mine like bound to T. I don't use T a great deal for anything. I just have it on every single character regardless of what spec I'm playing, whatever class it is. I always have my potion key binded to T and I have it on a hidden bar. The next one is your Hellstone. People never use Hellstones. It's so silly because every character in every class has access to this ability. And we die sometimes in raids without ever using our Hellstone. With the potion cooldowns and the reflect that has on it, we used to have this as a cast Hellstone, cast healing potion, but we can't do that anymore. So we generally have Hellstone there. Everybody goes ahead and they click the fucking soul well and they have the Hellstones like, I've got my Hellstone now, and they never ever use them, okay? It's a real sign of a good player who can react to a Hellstone. The easiest way to do this is to simply have it key binded on every single character and you'll get used to it, but you need something obscure, like mine is Alt 2. I don't use Alt 2 a great deal. It's an awkward little keybind. But what I do know is that if I ever get in trouble, no matter what I'm playing, I press Alt 2, I'll use a Hellstone if I've got one, and it's a good habit. You're going to spread this out. I also have my mounts on there. You guys like to keep your mounts. Some people like to keybind professions. I've never really got that. I've survived for years and years without ever having the needs. I mean, I can press P. You know what I mean? It's already bound to P for me. So I don't understand why people have that on the bars, but that's each to their own. If you want your professions keybound, then go ahead and do it. But for me, I don't need that. I have these basic 4. Now on to the magic one. This is the one people just don't know about, I guess, or just don't think about enough, or they get away with clicking it. But it can actually be a pain in the ass, especially while you're doing progress or you just need to react very quickly. Is when you're doing an encounter, you get an extra button. Certain encounters give you extra buttons. So think about Ji-Kun, when you pick up a feather, you have the option to fly. Think about Ultraxium, where you have to proc a shield. Every single time we have a new raid tier, there's some encounter that throws at us an extra special button. And we're okay with clicking it, but sometimes that reaction just isn't quick enough. If we get something like an Ultraxium shield, especially if you ever did heroic progress in Dragon Soul, you need to click that sumbitch really quickly. What if you fell off the platform as Ji-Kun, and suddenly you need to fly? Clicking it out of the way sometimes can be a little pain in the ass. What you might not know is this thing actually exists in here. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to open up your key bindings and then you're going to scroll down to this little bastard here. It's called the Extra Action Button 1. Only one of them exists. It's in between Action Button 12 and in between Special Action Button 1. And it's the only one that exists. This is the hidden button that pops up in encounters, okay? That is what this button is. It's just called the Extra Action Button 1. Bind it to something. Just bind it to something, and every single time, no matter what you're playing, what character, what class, you get into an encounter and that button appears, you're not suddenly thinking to yourself, oh god, I didn't keybind it, I didn't do this, or I have to click this one, what does this button do, how do I activate it quick enough? There are certain encounters where you need to be speedy with the extra button that the game gives you. Go ahead and keybind that. So then you have 5 key bindings that you can apply to every single character in class, and they're all useful. They really are all useful, and you can hide them out of the way. These aren't things you need to be checking on. You don't need to see your potions. You can open your bags. Blizzard gave us the gift of opening our bags if you ever need to check your potions. Hellstones, you should have a soul well, and it's there, and it's accessible on every character. It's a great way to, 1, get into keybinding if you're not good at it already. You've got these nice obscure keybinds. There's only 5 of them, and you can press them very rarely. It's not as if you're going to run into the extra action button in every single fight. That's not the case. But when it does happen, there it is, and you are going to be Mr. Speedy on the clock, the guy who's not failing with that kind of stuff because you're like, oh, I need to act to it now, and then go ahead and click it. This is a very important button. It's the most important one to get keybinded so you can react with it quickly. Some people are obviously going to say, I click it just fine, Preacher. Good for you. But let's get these things keybinded and get out of this clicking habit with the silly things. These are the silly things that every character and every class should have. but they don't. Okay, and if you do have the option to go ahead and hide them, get them out of the way, then you should do so in my opinion. It keeps your UI nice and clean. Alright, nice quick tip for you there, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you again.